Hello, third grade. Now that you have looked over the instructions, caught up with what we are doing today, we are continuing to paint. So, if you look at this painting, you can see all the different symbols. You can tell that it is symbols of love. And so this Mexican wrestler, this luchador, would be fighting for love, most likely a hero. Now we've already painted the skin tones. We're going in now, we're continuing. These are some photocopies of student work, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint on them because they're just photocopies. But you can see how we're changing up colors in each of the sections instead of just painting one section a whole color. So I'll demonstrate on this one since it hasn't been painted on yet. We're using metallic paint, we're using regular paint, and these are watercolor paints. To remind you, when we're using watercolor paint, it's helpful to have a paper towel. You need a cup of water with your brush. You want to dip your brush in the water before you add the paint. So if I go in and I'm capturing some paint, I'm not pushing too hard, I'm very light with my push, and I have paint on my brush. I can go in here and I can add the color that I would want for these beautiful snowflakes. If you have something like this where there's lines instead of a cut off area to paint into, like if it's not, if it was like a star shape and you could paint in the star, that would be one thing, but this is harder because it has just lines and it's gonna be difficult to see where you wanna have a variation. So you can always go over the black line because it'll still show and give it some extra color if that is how yours is. And then if I'm washing my brush out, maybe I want this like yellow golden around it, so then I could go in and paint this section. Oh, I have a little bit of a run, so I'd want to use my paper towel and dab it. I'm filling in each section so that you can easily see the two different colors in it. And I'm just focusing on one section at a time to really make it nice and neat. Now, if you have something more like this, where there's lots of different cut out symbols, easy to figure out how to paint inside instead of just lines, you want to go in, getting some paint, and really take your time with those different sections. See how I'm not just going and doing one color over that whole eye area, I'm painting all the different sections. And then I could go back in, figure out what, oh no, it's running. So I use my paper towel. If you ever get too much water in your brush and it's gonna start running, you can always use your paper towel just to relieve it of some water. You want to look for the correct size brush for the little areas, small brush. And now you can see how I'm breaking up the spaces. Same with back here. I would paint the broken heart one thing and then the background something else. I really want to make it pop, so I wouldn't go like red and red. I would go whatever, red and then pink, or red and then blue, or red and then green. So just think about your coloring. I have some colors for hair tones that you can use in the classroom if you bring this back in. And I have the skin tones, but we've all finished the skin. Maybe you haven't and you're starting over at home, so you're welcome to paint the skin and the hair once you return.